Hello everyone. Welcome to IAS. Let's discuss today's prelims topics. Question 1 with reference to Crimean Congo hemorrhagic fever, CCHF, consider the following statements. 1. The CCHF is endemic to Africa, the Balkan countries, Middle East, and parts of Asia. 2. This is a viral hemorrhagic fever usually transmitted by mosquitoes. 3. CCHF cannot be transmitted from one infected human to another. How many of the above statements are correct? A. Only 1. B. Only 2. C. All 3. D. None. The answer is A. CCHF can be transmitted from one infected human to another by contact with infectious blood or body fluids. This is a viral hemorrhagic fever usually transmitted by ticks. According to the WHO, Crimean Congo hemorrhagic fever, CCHF, is a viral hemorrhagic fever usually transmitted by ticks. It can also be contracted through contact with viremic animal tissue where the virus has entered the bloodstream during and immediately post-slaughter of animals. CCHF outbreaks constitute a threat to public health services as the virus can lead to epidemics, has a high case fatality ratio, 10-40%, potentially results in hospital and health facility outbreaks, and is difficult to prevent and treat. While the disease was first detected among soldiers in the Crimean Peninsula, near the Black Sea, in 1944, in 1969, it was found that an ailment identified in the Congo Basin was caused by the same pathogen. Thus, the disease was named the Crimean Congo hemorrhagic fever. Question 2. According to the National Multidimensional Poverty Index, a Progress Review 2023, consider the following statements. 1. The report was released by the Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment. 2. India has registered a significant decline of 9.89 percentage points in the number of multidimensionally poor, from 24.85% in 2015 to 2016 to 14.96% in 2019 to 2021. 3. Bihar, Jharkhand, Meghalaya, Uttar Pradesh and Madhya Pradesh top the chart where the percentage of total population who are multidimensionally poor is high. How many of the above statements are correct? A. Only 1. B. Only 2. C. All 3. D. None. The answer is B. The report was released by the Niti Aayog. The report said rural areas witnessed the fastest decline in poverty from 32.59% to 19.28%, primarily due to decrease in the number of multidimensionally poor in states such as Bihar, Uttar Pradesh, Madhya Pradesh, Odisha, and Rajasthan. Delhi, Kerala, Goa and Tamil Nadu have the least number of people facing multidimensional poverty along with the Union territories. Bihar, Jharkhand, Meghalaya, Uttar Pradesh and Madhya Pradesh top the chart where the percentage of total population who are multidimensionally poor is high. Multidimensional poverty in urban areas during the same period saw a decrease from 8.65% to 5.27%. Uttar Pradesh registered the largest decline in number of poor with 3.43 crore people escaping multidimensional poverty. Question 3. Consider the following statements about Advance Authorization Scheme. 1. This allows duty-free import of inputs, which are physically incorporated in an export product. 2. Advance authorization covers manufacturer exporters or merchant exporters tied to supporting manufacturers. Which of the above statements are correct? A. Only 1. B. Only 2. C. Both. D. None. The answer is C. Question 4. Prime Minister had recently inaugurated the new Integrated Terminal Building or NIT of the Veer Savarkar International Airport located at A. Daman, B. Mahe, C. Minicore. D. Port Blair. The answer is D. Question 5. Consider the following statements about force majeure (FM) clauses in commercial contracts. 1. An event or circumstance that prevents or impedes a party's performance of its contractual duties. 2. The concept of FM is universally recognized. 3. Force majeure has neither been defined nor specifically dealt with in Indian statutes. Some reference can be found in Section 32 of the Indian Contract Act, 1872. How many of the above statements are correct? A. Only 1. B. Only 2. C. All 3. D. None. The answer is B. The concept of FM is not universally recognized, and different legal systems provide different solutions where an impediment prevents performance of a commercial contract. Question 6. Consider the following statements about external commercial borrowing (ECB). 1. It is the loan debt borrowings taken by an eligible entity in India for commercial purpose, externally, i.e. from any recognized entity outside India. 2. It has to be paid back in any currency. 3. It can only obtained from foreign commercial banks and international financial institutions like IMF, World Bank, ADB, etc. How many of the above statements are correct? A. Only 1. B. Only 2. C. All 3. D. None. The answer is A. It has to be paid back in the currency in which it is borrowed. It can be only obtained from foreign commercial banks, international financial institutions like IMF, World Bank, ADB, etc. and from the government of foreign nations. Question 7. Consider the following statements about Hindu Undivided Family (HUF) for income tax purposes. 1. HUF consists of all persons lineally descended from a common ancestor and includes their wives and unmarried daughters. 2. An HUF has its own permanent account number (PAN) and files tax returns independent of its members. 3. An HUF has a Karta who is typically the eldest male person in the family and manages its day-to-day affairs, and other members are coparcenaires. Children are coparcenaires of their father's HUF. How many of the above statements are correct? A. Only 1. B. Only 2. C. All 3. D. None. The answer is C. The Indian Income Tax Act of 1886 recognized HUF under the term person. In an effort to shore up finances for World War I, the British introduced the Super Tax Act, 1917, which recognized HUF as a separate entity for tax purposes for the first time. Super tax was levied in addition to income tax. The idea of HUF as a distinct category of taxpayer was incorporated in the Income Tax Act, 1922, which formed the basis of the Post-Independence Income Tax Act, 1961. The law currently in force recognizes HUF as a person under Section 231(2). Between the pre- and post-independence laws, government-instituted committees critically examined the preferential tax treatment for HUFs. The Income Tax Inquiry Report of 1936 flagged the substantial revenue loss owing to the special exemptions for HUFs. The Taxation Inquiry Commission of 1953 to 1954 acknowledged the anomalies created by the preferential tax treatment for HUFs. But since the treatment of HUF under tax law was tied to the legal position of HUF under Hindu personal law, and owing to the pendency of the Hindu Code Bill during that period, the Commission decided not to change the tax position of HUF. The Justice Wanchu Committee report of 1971 explicitly stated that the institution of HUF was being used to avoid tax. In 2018, A law commission consultation paper declared that it is high time that it is understood that justifying this institution on the ground of deep-rooted sentiments at the cost of the country's revenues may not be judicious. Question 8. Election Commission of India (ECI) to issue digital time vouchers to national and state political parties for campaigning on Doordarshan and All India Radio during elections. Consider the following statements about this. 1. The scheme, which was initially notified on 16 January 1998, holds a statutory basis under Section 39 of the Representation of People Act, 1951, RPA. 2. It is aimed at ensuring equitable access to government-owned electronic media during elections for campaigning. Which of the above statements are correct? A. Only one. B. Only two. C. All three. D. None. The answer is C. Under this scheme, an equitable base time is allotted to each national party and recognized state party of the state concerned uniformly on DD and AIR, and the additional time to be allotted to the parties is decided on the basis of the poll performance of the parties in the last assembly elections from the respective states UT or in the last general elections to Lok Sabha, as the case may be. The actual date and time during which the above broadcasts will be made by the authorized representatives of any party is predetermined by a lot by the Prasar Bharati Corporation in consultation with ECI and in the presence of political party representatives. The introduction of an IT-based platform for the processing and distribution of time vouchers to entitled political parties allows for a more efficient and streamlined process, enhancing accessibility and ease of use for the political parties. Thank you, everyone. Do subscribe to this channel. Use code SPLIVE to join Unacademy.